Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. My name is Midway and I hope you're having a wonderful day because I sure am. So we're back again with some more Legend of Mushroom and we just got a decent item. That's a decent starter, although yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one. Nonetheless, we're gonna be checking out the new event that's been coming out. Well, it's already been out for a couple days for Halloween, right? We're gonna be going through what the rewards are for it, any gameplay modes that are available during the event time, and yeah, we'll just discuss a little bit about whether or not the rewards are strong and worth buying into. But before we do that, please go ahead and check out Aptoide if you haven't done so yet. We'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the video. Now let's get into it. So the Halloween event, you can always find it as always on the top right. It's going to be the one with the little pumpkin icon, although we have two events going on right now, which there's going to be a video about the other event we also have running. But for now, we'll check the Halloween one, and yeah, we'll just click on the pumpkin thing. It's called Halloween Night. So yeah, pretty cool theme. Of course, we got all sorts of ghosts and tombstones and pumpkins and everything you can expect from Halloween. So the big event, of course, is going to be the big gacha, which always has the biggest rewards attached to it. So the way you are able to get these rewards is, of course, by doing some daily rewards, or actually getting it from daily rewards by doing some quests, or just buying them as always, right? You know, it's a gacha, and of course, as I mentioned before, Aptoid will really help you if you're trying to get any of this stuff. But now, let's go ahead and use the ones that I have here. I don't really have too many items available to pull stuff out of the gacha, but let's just skip through it. There we go, we got some stuff, nothing crazy. We'll skip the next two, and there we go, we got a little bit of kind of just, yeah, some random stuff. Let's now check the big rewards, which of course are going to be the mount this time around, which is just a giant pumpkin, and then we also have an artifact, right? So let's see if they are worth getting into. Let's just read through what they say. So this is the mount, deals 2000 AoE skill damage, 800 current combo AoE damage, and 800 current counter AoE damage every 11 seconds after the battle starts. And the targets take damage equal to 2% of current HP per second, with attack and damage resistance also being reduced by 10% for 5 seconds, and then triggers that at the start of the battle. So they're going to be taking some max HP damage, which is always pretty decent, and that's going to be per second for 5 seconds, as well as reducing their attack and damage resistance. And that's going to be happening every 11 seconds. That is pretty decent. That is going to be 10% of current max HP, for sure, guaranteed, as well as reducing their attack and damage resistance. I think this is a pretty decent mount, as well as a pretty aggressive one with the instant damage attached to it, excuse me. Yeah, it might not be one of the worst ones, not gonna lie. Global defense increased by 10% from having it. Not the greatest, but nonetheless, yeah, that is a decent amount. I think it's going to be a pretty decently aggressive one, as well as just, it's 30% free max HP damage. I'm assuming, like, just picture this, a battle lasting 30 seconds in PvP. It's not usually going to happen, but nonetheless, it's going to be a big burst initially, as well as just some guaranteed damage and damage reduction. Probably completely skippable if you're running Blitz Assault or things like that, but yeah, all in all, not a bad one. Now let's move on to the artifact, which is right down here. And this is, of course, the big prize of the gacha. Is going to be the one costing you the most tries to carry guaranteed. So let's read through it. Increases character attack by 10% after the battle starts. So that's just straight up 10% more attack. When the character, pal, avian, or summon deals damage, the character regenerates HP equal to 15% of the damage dealt, ignores PvP healing reduction up to 1% max HP. Alright, so what is that going to be? HP, alright, so I'm assuming it's going to be like every one hit that you're going to be doing, 15% of that damage is going to be counted as healing up to maximum of 1% of your HP, so you cannot regenerate more than 1% per hit, I'm assuming. Otherwise, you might just go full HP. Yeah, that's probably what's happening here. If you have a lot of damage compared to the your enemy, you're gonna be just going full HP every attack you do, which is probably a little bit too much, but that's a lot of healing. Then the drawback for this is that 20 to 39 seconds into battle, which is a lot of randomness, the character is going to be losing 1% of current HP per second. So at that point, I'm not sure if the other effect is going to be gone or if it's going to be staying, but there's going to be a drawback where you're going to be starting to bleed out. Then 40 to 59 seconds, again, a lot of randomness, into the battle, you're going to be losing 2% of current HP per second, and finally at 60%, or rather 60 seconds into battle, you're going to be losing 5% of current HP per second. Global attack increased by 10%, extraordinary, but the real thing is, I'm not sure if the healing is going to be stopping once the drawbacks start happening, or if it's more going to be a thing of the drawbacks are going to start to overpower the benefit of the healing. Nonetheless, this sounds like a very damn powerful artifact, especially for PvE. Since if your damage is just insane, you might just be able to overheal the whole thing and just kind of become immortal until the drawbacks start kicking in, right? There's no point where this says that the actual benefit of the artifact is going to be stopping, even though the drawbacks are kicking in. So I'm assuming it's just going to be keeping going, and if your damage is high enough, you will be able to sort of out-heal these drawbacks, especially the 1% max health per second. Then when it gets to the 5%, if that fight was going to be lasting for 60 seconds, which is kind of nuts, maybe more applied to something like the whale events or bossing events. Yeah, at that point it would kind of be a little bit harder to keep up with that, but that is a pretty good set of rewards. It's going to take you quite a little bit of actually being able to get them, of course, like always, and Apptoid again really helps in getting these things. Now, once you get the candle burn, that's how the artifact is called, you can also choose to get either the Eye of the Raven or the Eternal Flame, both of which are extremely powerful as well in their respective forms. So yeah, if you really want, you could get all three of them, and you could basically just get yourself insane rewards out of this event. But of course, the spending would be quite significant. Not even talking about luck at this point, this is just insane spendings. So what else is there in this event? We have the Ghostly Pumpkin Egg, which is your usual event. We've already had this a couple times, where you click one of the options, you're gonna have to choose one reward over here, right? So you're gonna have to find that reward. We've had this one a pretty good amount of times now, and once you do find the reward out of the set of the pumpkins, in this case, that there is in the floor, well, the rest are gonna be opening up, and then you can just guarantee to get yourself all the rewards. But the sooner you get the one you want, the sooner you go to the next floor. So out of this, you can get a bunch of cool rewards as well. You can get some costumes, you can look like Dracula. I guess you get it twice, so you can upgrade it, and then you can also get a back attachment, which in this case is, well, let's just read through it, but it looks very damn cool. So let's see what it does. Lowers attack by 8%. Okay, attack speed by 12%, energy regen speed by 12%, and pal attack speed by 12% after the battle starts, but gain 1% attack, 1.5 attack speed, 1.5 energy regen speed, and 1.5 pal attack speed per second till the end of the battle, stacking up to 20 times, right? So you're gonna have to start with a drawback, and then you're gonna be slowly scaling up to just having more stats than initially. Then gain all the stacks the first time HP falls below 50%, right? So initially you're just gonna be a little bit weaker, and if you're able to sustain, you'll eventually just become stronger. And if that doesn't happen before, what is it, 20 is actually 50% HP. Once you drop below 50% HP, all the good stuff is going to be kicking in. That is a lot of stats. What is it? You're going to end up just having 20 stacks of basically everything, right? So that's like 20% extra attack, 30% attack speed, 30% energy regen speed, yeah, basically a whole lot of stats. It's actually pretty decent. Global defense increased by 10%, not bad either. I think this is actually a very damn strong back attachment. That is a lot of stats, despite the initial drawback. You gotta take that into account, of course. You will not be getting those things back. They're just gonna be overcome by the benefits. So even though it might be like 20% extra attack, it's more like 12% extra attack compared to not using this artifact, right? So that is still quite strong, but it's not as strong, of course, if you just look at the overall benefits without taking into account the drawbacks, right? So finally, before you go, please let me go ahead and talk a little bit about Aptoide, as we mentioned before. So basically, Aptoide is just like Google Play. It's a platform from which you download games onto your phone, as well as any emulator on your PC. Only works for Android devices, unfortunately. And basically what happens is when you do any purchase through Aptoide, you're gonna be able to earn cashbacks or bonuses, which can go from extra 10% all the way up to extra 35% of any amount of money spent, right? So picture this, I'm going to be buying this little pack, and once I do so, I'm going to be getting 16 cents based off of the bonus that I currently have unlocked, which you can also increase by doing things like, for example, using my code down below on the screen as well as down the description to increase that bonus by a flat 5% in Legend of Mushroom forever. Nonetheless, based on the bonus you currently have unlocked, you're going to be able to get that bonus, and eventually, once you do have enough of the bonus, you're going to be able to use it in the form of the Appcoins credits. That's the name of the bonus. That is going to allow you to buy whatever you're trying to buy in those games basically for free, just using your bonus, right? So it's just extra, excuse me, value for your money. You don't really lose anything. So basically, whenever you purchase something, if you were already going to be doing so anyways, you would just get more out of your money and eventually be able to afford more things. So for example, for things like playing the gachas and trying to get some reward you really want, it's just going to be a little bit cheaper to get it on the long run. Nonetheless, this comes together with the Appcoins wallet, which is a separate app, and there is going to be a guide down there in the description, just so that you can find out how to build the whole thing, right? How to download every app and just set up the whole thing on your phone as well as on an emulator on your PC. Nonetheless, yeah, with this separate app, the Appcoins wallet, here is where you can see how much bonus you currently have unlocked, as well as your purchase history. You can always find, or you can also find here where you can input my promo code, as I mentioned before. Just put it in there, and that's going to be unlocking that extra 5%. And if you do so and you use my code, you're going to be helping me out immensely. So I really appreciate it if you do so. You can also find how much more you need to be spending in order to unlock higher amounts of bonuses in the form of a bit of a milestone, or kind of like a progress bar here, so you can see, yeah, what you need to be doing in order to get a bigger bonus on the long run. And finally, you can also find active events going on within the Appcoins wallet, which for a limited time will increase the bonuses that you get in certain games in particular. For a limited time, that's only like usually about 24 hours, can be an extra 5 to 10% bonus on those games in particular, right? So all in all, that's pretty much what Apptoid is about. It just gets you more value for your money. If you're going to be playing any Android game anyways, you might as well do so through Apptoid. I have the code for Legend of Mushroom, but Apptoid also works for any other Android game you can find on Apptoid, which pretty much is all of them, right? So yeah, any questions, drop it down below in the comment section. Gladly answer them to you if I could, or if I can rather. And nonetheless, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. See ya.